Hello and welcome to this very, very special interaction that I have. 2019 ODI World Cup winner, 2022 T20 World Cup winner, and now also a very, very good test all-rounder. I have with me Chris Woakes. Chris, thank you so much for taking time out and talking to us.
No problem, no problem. Great to be here.
Chris, as I mentioned, 2022 T20 World Cup success. England on an absolute roll in Test cricket in the last 6 months.
Yes.
Have we now seen the England team setting the base for domination like the West Indies and the Australian teams of the past in 2023 onwards?
Oh, I certainly hope so. I think to dominate international cricket in the current climate is quite difficult to do. Obviously, the schedule is pretty relentless as well, isn't it? There's constant fixtures. So to keep winning and keep that drive going to kind of constantly trying to improve is quite difficult. But the team, like you touched on, the test team have gone through a really great patch, which is brilliant to see. The complete change of sort of mindset, I suppose. But yeah, our white ball teams have obviously been very good for quite a while now. So to be able to sustain that is obviously the next test. But yeah, to hold both World Cups at the moment and for the test team to be doing so well, it's great to see.
Now you're going to play for the Sharjah Warriors in the IL T20. What is
Yes.
the first thing when I mention the word Sharjah? What is the most famous memory that you have personally?
Well, obviously Sharjah is a incredibly um, amazing cricket stadium, which is obviously very popular and has held so many cricket games over the years. Huge tradition there from a cricket point of view. So amazing to be a part of the Sharjah Warriors, and also I have great memories of the stadium as well. So played a great game there against Pakistan in a T20, where the
Yes.
game went to a tie. I bowled the last over, it went to a tie, and Chris Jordan
Yes.
bowled a fantastic super over. So and we won the game. So some good memories there, which is great.
Are we going to see Chris Woakes in the ILT20 for Sharjah Warriors? Because why? I'll tell you one thing. You've got Paul Fabris. You've also got Moeen Ali, both of whom you shared a great association with in Warwickshire. So, how important are familiar faces when you are in this particular new kind of a league that is evolving?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you go into a new environment, obviously with loads of new players, new coaches, I think it's quite important to still have that familiarity type thing with maybe a coach or a player, so you feel a little bit at home still. Even an experienced player like myself, it's always nice to have those sort of home comforts type thing. So yeah, to know Moen, obviously I know Moen very well from England and Warwickshire days, and obviously know Paul very well as well. So that will be great to work with him again, and I'm really looking forward to what the tournament has to offer. Obviously with it being the first year, I think everyone's excited to get going.
Chris, there has been a major, major issue when it comes to cricket, when it comes to probably the schedule. You're going to play the ILT20, but it coincides with England touring South Africa also. You're
Yes,
skipping the IPL probably to focus on the Ashes. Now, with so much of cricket, and this has been a major issue in England because of the club versus county debate, how
yes.
do you make the decision as to whether you want to play this league, whether you want to play this series? What goes into your mind in trying to juggle so many different formats and series at the same time?
Yeah, it's a good question because it is something which the modern cricketer has to really think about, and it's almost very much like golf now. I don't know how much you know your golf, but as a golfer, you kind of have to pick and choose what tournaments you play and how much you play each year. And it's becoming very similar in a cricket sort of terms now because there's that many tournaments and that many international fixtures that it's almost impossible to be able to play it all. And don't get me wrong, you almost could play it all, but at some point you're either going to get injured for one, or two, you're not going to quite be the player that you want to be because you're going to be tired or you're going to be fatigued and you're going to be mentally burnt out. So it's quite important, I think, to make sure you make the right decision in what tournaments you're going to play. Having the right amount of time at home with your family, I think that's a big call for myself. Uh, so that was a sort of decision which I had to make was how much time I want to spend away from home, away from my family, and then also obviously the ability to be fit and fresh for when I play international cricket. So that's the kind of decision process which I had to go through.
England players nowadays are featuring a lot more in the IPL, in the CPL, in the Big Bash League, and now IL T20 along with SA20 also are going to be there. Now, how does each league enhance a skill set of a player? Like the IPL has a different ball game altogether. The BBL has a different level of intensity. How will the IL T20, if you look at it in that context, the leagues, how will it help a player?
Yeah, I think it will help massively. I think we've seen obviously the IPL and other franchise tournaments, really develop the white ball game around the world, and the ILT20 will also add to that. I think I'm really excited to play for the Sharjah Warriors with some players that I've never played with before. The ability to be able to come up against new guys really helps you as a cricketer. I think because it develops skills which I think the big thing that I've taken away from franchise tournaments is being able to watch other cricketers play and pick their brains on how they go about their business, and that can only improve you as a player. So, I'm looking forward to the ILT20 from that point of view. There's obviously a lot of international players going to be playing in that tournament and in the team. So, the standard will be very high, and that causes for great cricket. So, really looking forward to that.
This will be the first tournament of 2023. And as you very well know, you have two very important tournaments. One is the Ashes and one is the ODI World Cup that will be held in India. In that context, how do you look at the IL T20 as a preparation for the World Cup in India that will be played in October, November?
Yeah, I mean, playing in the UAE isn't too far off like the conditions that you come up against in India. So from that side of things, it could be, very helpful in terms of preparation for potentially going to India later on in the year. Well, that's the way you kind of have to look at it, really. I think the more white ball cricket that you can play leading into a World Cup year, I think can only benefit you, really. So, yeah, to play against some quality players, against some high quality opposition will only hopefully hold me in good stead for the rest of the year, especially from a white ball perspective.
Okay, last question, Chris. After a very long time, you're spending Christmas at home. What is
Yeah.
the New Year resolution that you have for 2023?
Oh, New Year's resolution. That is a great question. I never really have New Year resolutions, to be brutally honest. I try and think I live life very much the right way that suits myself and my family. But I think if I had to choose one, oh, you know what? I don't know. I think I had my 2022 was blighted by injury from the summer point of view. I had a tough knee, so I think the one thing I could focus on for the new year is make sure that I stay on top of my knee, make sure it stays fit and strong, and I think that's the one thing which I want to focus on to make sure I have a good 2023.
Of course, of course. It's a great pleasure, Chris, to always watch you play and display your skills because you've got success in all formats, and that itself is a tremendous thing. All the best for
Thank
the
you.
IL T20 and your time with the Sharjah Warriors, Chris. Thank you so much, people, for joining us for this special interaction. Press that like, comment, and share button so that you know when we go live and show Sports Today and Sports Talk some love. Thank you.